Hey there, welcome to Motivation Monday on a Tuesday. I may or may not have forgotten it was Monday yesterday. So welcome to Motivation Monday. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about the power of your subconscious mind and how to start reprogramming that to serve you better. So I actually posted a book in my Health Hub, which is where I share most of my healthy living information. So if you're not in there, first of all, let me know in the comments and I will add you to that, because I share all my healthy recipes that I find that I know you guys will absolutely love, my favorite books, motivation, workout, everything like that. It's all in there. I don't share so much on this one. That's like my little hub of goodness. So I posted one of my favorite books yesterday, which is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Now, I first discovered this book, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. I started listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza many years ago because I think, was he on The Secret? I can't remember if he was on The Secret, the original movie. I feel like he was, like way back when I was like 20. That's like nearly 20 years ago. Must have been like early 20s it came out. So anyway, Dr. Joe Dispenza is a neuroscientist, so his jam is the brain, and he's an incredible speaker. If you go and listen to, he's done interviews with most of the top interviewers like Lewis Howes and people like that. But if you go and have a look at him on YouTube or podcasts, things like that, he's fascinating, and he actually has a really good series on Gaia as well. If you have a Gaia membership, he does a series on brain and heart coherence and how powerful it is that we can actually get our heart to like open up. Like, it's just incredible what can start to happen in the energy and the shifts that we can start to make in our life. And because he's a scientist, he has an incredible ability to link science with spirituality, which is often quite difficult for people to get. People often say, like for me, I was always science-minded, right? I studied phys ed, exercise prescription, exercise physiology. I love science, I love numbers, I love maths. I was never really into the like sort of the woo-woo, I guess we call it. It wasn't until I started learning more about the law of attraction when The Secret first came out. I was so into it, everyone thought I was a bit weird. But I thought that just makes sense. It makes sense that we're all energy. Like, of course we are, we're made up of atoms. So when I realized that quantum physics is science, and it brings the spiritual side and the scientific side so harmoniously together, that's when I got really excited about things. And the last 15, 20 years has really just been a personal discovery of all of that. And my goodness, I've been down some pretty cool rabbit holes and learnt a lot about everything to do with quantum physics, really. And so with the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So our conscious mind is about 5%. And this is basically all based off Dr. Joe Dispenza's teaching. So the subconscious mind is about 95%. So your subconscious mind is basically running your programming every day of your life. It's running the thoughts that you have. It's running your body, basically. It's running your emotions. It's running your habits. It's running your responses to things. It's running everything. And then your conscious mind is about 5%. So what happens is most of us every single day, we wake up in the morning. Well, I'm not going to say we, because I do not do this and I haven't done this for years, but you maybe, or people, let's just say people. People wake up in the morning. The first thing they do is an alarm goes off. It wakes them out of most likely not enough sleep. So there's our first problem, but that's for a whole nother Motivation Monday / Tuesday. They look at their phone. Right, so immediately they're turning up, looking at their phone, setting their mind up for the day by looking at their phone. Then they look at the news, and then they start checking emails, then they start to check messages, and then they start to think, oh my God, what have I got to do today? So straight away they're in that programming that they do every day. They roll out of bed, they get in the shower, they go downstairs, they half asleep make their coffee or their tea. They walk to work, drive to work the same way every single day, stop at the same lights, put their mascara on at the lights, go to work, come home, say hi to the kids, do some work, make some dinner, watch TV, go to bed. Scroll social media, go to bed. So we are living in our subconscious mind. And so for us to make a change, we actually have to we have to start to reprogram that. And so they think that we're only at about 5% of our conscious mind. So most of what we do is actually just subconscious. We're not even thinking about it. How crazy is that? We're just doing it. And so for us, if we want something to change, something has to change, right? If we do the same thing and expect the same result, we're a crazy person. That's a sign of insanity. So for us to make a change, we actually have to start to reprogram our subconscious mind. So how do we do that? How do we reprogram our subconscious mind? We have to meditate. So we have to actually start to change the signaling in our mind. We have to start to change the cycle. And so by waking up in the morning, not letting everything else external to us take ownership over that day, or just roll out and do the exact same thing. But by actually waking up and giving our mind time when it's in that really vulnerable, moldable state that it is when we first wake up, like that's such an amazing frequency that your mind's in there, by filling our mind with what we want, we straight away start to make changes. And we have to then do this consistently. So we wake up in the morning and we think, what do I want this day to look like? What is my dream day? What do I see? And when we feel the emotion of what we want, we then start to do the actions around getting it. And then of course the law of attraction comes into play, right? Because we've created the emotions of already having it. And when we're living in the feeling of already having, we attract it. We cannot attract what we are not, because like attracts like. So we cannot attract the feeling of love if we have a feeling of doubt, of unworthiness. We cannot attract health if we feel we are in poor health and we say we are in poor health. We cannot attract to feel in the white, like bright and energized if we're constantly saying, I feel dull, I feel tired, and we're feeling those feelings. So by taking time in the morning to switch ourselves into what do I want? What does it feel like to be in the state of what I want? You have to feel it. You have to immerse yourself in it. And this is tricky. This is why most of us live in a state of what we don't want. We're always talking about what we don't want. You know, people often say that thing like, oh, bad things happen in threes. Well, of course they do. You just said that, you dummy. Seriously. Oh, I'm having a bad day. Well, of course you are. You just said that, you dummy. It blows my mind what comes out of our mouths. We are what we speak, because what we speak is what we're feeling. So how can we switch our feelings to be more of what we want in our life? I really encourage you to start with your morning practice. And I did a live the other day about what I do for my morning practice and how I help to start change my subconscious mind. Because it's a constant evolution. It's not like, oh, light bulb, I've worked on my subconscious mind and now I'm going to be perfect. It doesn't work like that. It's a long process of slowly turning the dial closer and closer to a higher level of consciousness and living in a place where you are embodying the emotions of what you see in your future before you have them. And if you're interested in this more, go and look up, hi Tans, hi Em. If you're interested in this more, go and have a look at Dr. Joe Dispenza. Get the book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. If you've never read it and you've not learned about quantum physics, this will blow your mind. Like, this is the science behind what's going on in your mind. Just fascinating. It brings everything that you think about science and everything that you bring about like woo-woo together. And then also go and look on YouTube. Also look up Abraham Hicks. So this might be too woo-woos for some of you, but hey, this is my show, so I'm going to talk about what I want. So Abraham Hicks, it actually speaks through Esther Hicks. Abraham Hicks is not called Abraham Hicks. He's called the Abrahams, which is a collective spirit of spirits, and they speak through Esther Hicks. That might be too crazy for some of you, but just go listen, see what you think. It's pretty amazing. They were actually originally in The Secret. They got removed from The Secret because they talk about the vortex and the source as the spiritual power. And the teachings of Abraham are the teachings that come through Esther Hicks. And they realized that that would be too much for a lot of people. They talk about this in one of their trainings. So The Secret, the producers of The Secret realized that would be too much for a lot of people, like too woo-woo, and they needed it to be more mainstream, which I can totally understand why, because a lot of people that have read The Secret or listen to The Secret and follow the teachings of the law of attraction, it is too much for them. They're not ready to accept that there's a group of spirits who talk to someone and that's what the book is about. That's just not going to work for a lot of people. I totally understand that. You've just finished Abraham Hicks. Awesome. So what one did you read, Tan? Because there's about 20. I think I've listened to all of them. They are so, so amazing. So they've got, it's Esther and Jerry Hicks. So Jerry's now dead, but Esther still practices the teachings. They've got the law of attraction and money, ask and it is given, the amazing power of emotions, the power of, I can't remember. They're all on my thing. I love this book, and my hubby, who hates woo-woo, is a scientist and reads quantum physics for fun. Yay! I love that, Sharon. That's awesome. So yeah, like for me, coming from a science background, but I've always been like, I'm so open-minded about what's out there. If someone comes to me with their idea of what's beyond, I'm fascinated. So when I can link that up with science and like, okay, this is actually like, this is here and this is here, and I can put those together, I'm like, boom. That's how I can get my brain and create the future that I want. So come bringing this all back. This is how to create the future that you want, right? This is harnessing the power of your emotions to create what you want in your life. Because most of us are not living our best life when we really think about it. Most of us are settling. Most of us are, arguing about finances or wondering how you're going to pay your next mortgage, or you do have lots of money, you're not in a completely happy marriage, or you do have lots of money, but you actually feel a low sense of self-worth because you don't actually believe you deserve it. Or there's just so many things. None of us are perfect, right? We're human. We've got so many things going on. But we can start to create more of this awesome, they call it downstream and upstream, and we want to be downstream. So we want to be closer to like a flowing life of good energy and goodness and feeling the emotions of having before we receive. Because we can really have anything we want. And I don't know if people realize that we can. If we haven't got it, it's because we don't actually feel that we've got it yet. So we can't have it yet. Like some people are so good at this. They just, they have this knowing. They have this knowing and you can feel it. You can feel it radiate off them. It's so powerful. So guys, start with your morning routine. Start by that first thing you do in the day. Set your mind up. What do I want to achieve? What do I see? What is my future? What is the most incredible future? I'm not talking about stupid stuff like I just want to, the lettuce not to be $7 this week. I'm talking about being bold. Like, what would my dream life look like? Like, really amazing stuff. And then feeling what that would feel like when you're there. It might be like a holiday that you've been dreaming of, or like these trips that I've earned the last 2 times, the AOT, Avalon Incentive Trips. So when I was thinking about Fiji, I would close my eyes in the morning and I would literally put myself on the beach in Fiji. I'd have my toes in the sand. And I would also tell my mum, she'll probably watch this later, I would tell my mum that I've earned the trip, which is crazy because that means that that's how much, like, I want her to always be proud of me, and what that felt like. And then I would also tell my team and what that would feel like, because I know that that would give them so much hope, and that's so special to me. Like, having those conversations in my head, telling my best friend Claire that we're going to Fiji, or if we can't go to Fiji, Vietnam. But I've promised her for years that I would earn these trips, and I'm finally earning them. And we couldn't go on the last one because I wasn't allowed in. So yeah, so have those conversations with yourself and feel what it's like. What does the sun feel like on your body? What does the sand feel like on your toes? What does it feel like to be there with your family? How do your kids look at you when you get there? Like, have you got a dream house that you've always dreamt of? What does it feel like when you walk in that door to your dream house? Like, what does it look like? Have you visualized it? Have you felt what that visualization is like in every little cell of your body? And that'll set you up for the day so that then you're there, and then you just go about living your day and start to do things a little differently. You know, maybe take a different way to work just to snap your brain out of it and live consciously, live in the present. Maybe make your coffee a little different. I've got this thing where I never have my coffee exactly the same, and I do it just to keep my mind going. I do everything a little bit different in the morning. I try not to have a routine. Some days I do some yoga. Some days I do some laps around the house. Some days I have lemon water. Some days I have greens. Some days I have half a fizz stick. Some days I go crazy and have a whole fizz stick. You know, got to live life on the edge. All right, guys, so I hope that empowers you to know that you control your destiny. You might not realize it, but you really, really do. And your emotions play into that like you may not realize. If you want more info on any of this, just let me know. It's like, you know, I adore talking about this kind of thing. And yeah, I can send you some book ideas, some podcast ideas. And if you're not in my health hub, let me know as well. And I'll add you to that too, where I share lots more great books and teachings and favorite interviews and stuff like that. Yeah. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for being on. Lots of love. Talk to you soon.